breaking news like we had the other day, Austin Matthews signed an extension, or the Toronto Raptors trading for a former Defensive Player of the Year in Marc Gasol, which just happened.
It's very, very exciting.
Keyword is former.
I thought when I first saw the news that the price point was going to be higher for the Raptors, that it was going to be more expensive. You assumed immediately Jonas Valanciunas was going to be in the deal, right? That was essentially a given because of fit. There's not room on the roster for JV, Serge Ibaka, and Marc Gasol. And I think I'll say from my standpoint anyways, maybe we don't all agree, I won't speak for you guys, that Serge
Donnovan
Ibaka,
Bennett, by the way, in studio.
Serge Ibaka has been one of the Raptors' most important players this season. He's been completely rejuvenated, and you don't trade him away in a must-win season. That this year, Serge Ibaka offers more for you from a lineup versatility standpoint, especially bringing in a guy like Marc Gasol, than a Jonas Valanciunas does. So out the door, DeLon Wright, you lose some point guard depth. You lose a really solid defensive point guard who has improved, at least from where he was as a rookie, as a shooter, and who came through for the Raptors in a big-time way in a playoff series last year. A second-round pick, and CJ Miles, who was already knocked out of the rotation and is actually some money off the books for next year. So, to me, this is essentially Jonas Valanciunas and this season of DeLon Wright, because I'm not even sure the Raptors were going to re-sign him.
Right, a restricted free agent at the end of the season.
That there was potential for him to be gone anyways. This feels like, from a ceiling standpoint play, a pretty excellent move by Masai Ujiri. Like, it has the potential for it to not be because of Gasol's age and his health. And there are some declining numbers with this player. He's not, as you mentioned, the defensive MVP that he once was. But it's really hard for me to look at this and quibble with anything.
It's a needle mover. We just saw a couple of teams in the Eastern Conference make big moves. This is a response, and I think a pretty good one. Donovan? No? You're not
JV,
convinced?
we now go to the JV Hive for a reaction.
Hey, man. Hey, listen, I love me some GoDaddy ads. I think the cost is high. I think that we could make an argument of who has been a better basketball player when healthy this year, JV or Gasol. JV, in terms of efficiency in scoring offensively, ranks 17th in the league.
He has more around him that can score.
Mm-hmm. He's asked to do different things.
He also has a lot less usage. So, I mean, we could, and plays when he's in the second unit, plays with worse players. The thing.
I don't think that's true. Plays with worse players than are on Memphis this season?
Mike Conley's still on Memphis.
Yeah. And then who
Jackson
else?
Jr. is still on Memphis.
Jackson Jr., the 19-year-old rookie who's come on.
Who everyone loves?
Memphis is terrible. Like, Memphis is surrounded by really bad players. Like, he has not been with a very good team this season. You can at least acknowledge that.
And he's been part of the reason, because he hasn't been himself.
He's been hurt. He had a back issue. He's back in the lineup. Missed their last game because, obviously they were holding him back for this potential trade.
So when he crosses the border, that back's going to all of a sudden get better?
No, but who cares? Okay. We
all the things that illed him there, it's not like they go away here.
For sure. But we're already talking about a very risky proposition this season for the Raptors, and a house of cards kind of situation where they put a bunch of chips in the middle of the table for one playoff run anyway. So
it's the Mr. Burns body with all the different diseases jamming in the door, but you just hope that all the diseases just cancel each other out.
Sure, that's one way to put it.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Do you get that reference? Are you a Simpsons guy?
No, I don't watch Simpsons. Yeah. But so do you potentially have to give him the Kawhi Leonard treatment down the stretch to make sure he's healthy for the postseason? Maybe.
The Kawhi Leonard treatment, what should be the Kyle Lowry treatment?
Yeah.
I mean, you have your three principal guys.
Yep.
All have health issues.
Yes. No question. I'm not going to argue with you.
That's where we are.
Let's put it this way. Given the landscape of what the Raptors were looking at in the East, and I guess if in a potential finals matchup against the Golden State Warriors, you had to go with high ceiling plays. That this was all in, and this was short term, and it was risky. That the window you're working within is a 1-year window. And right now, adding someone who is unquestionably a better passer, unquestionably a better shooter, who adds an element to Kyle Lowry playing in the pick and pop, who is unquestionably still a better defender than Jonas Valanciunas, that this is a better, and who brings a real pedigree to him and a real basketball intelligence to him, that this is a higher ceiling play in an all-in season. And I don't know how Like, the assets that you sacrificed here are not things that are going to haunt you in the future or in the past or this season.
Well, I'm not
like,
saying
you
they're
knew
gonna
what your
haunt
ceiling
you.
was.
I'm going to say I'm not arguing they're going to haunt you. I'm arguing that they didn't need to give up what they did to get Gasol.
What bothers you in this trade that they gave up? Because you needed to get them to eat that CJ Miles money.
Just because you have money doesn't mean you need to spend it. And if you look at the rumored deals with Gasol going to Charlotte, this is a gross overpay in relative to what Charlotte was going to give up. But aside all of that, if we were having a conversation about this team on this show yesterday, 24 hours ago, and we said they need to improve, let's look at the areas. I don't think Gasol addresses those areas. So this is not fantasy basketball where you're just collecting players. This team needs more three-point shooting.
Yeah, but they got that with Gasol. A little bit.
I guess.
Well, I mean, he's a 34% three-point shooter on 6 a game.
Yeah.
That's not nothing for a big man.
Yeah.
He's a reliable three-point shooter. You need to guard him. And we've seen Gasol get hot against the Raptors. Like, that's a significant upgrade as a shooter. So you did get that. Your other area of weakness, rebounding. And I know JV was going to be coming back and really helping that. But
JV's
if you
the
look
best
at
defensive rebounder on the team.
but if you look at Gasol's rebound rates, all of his numbers are the same. That those boxes continue to be the same thing. You look at Marc Gasol, and his offensive rebound rate and percentage remain the same of what they've been in the past. Same go for his defensive rebounding percentage, which is actually gone up a little bit this season. He's been great. He's grabbing 26% of the rebounds when he's on the floor. Like, he has been good. If you look at his other metrics, you go across the board from a player who's, like, quote unquote slipping, right? His steal percentage is up this season to 1.7. His block percentage, almost the same, almost flat from his entire career this year. His turnovers are actually down from last season. His usage rate is absolutely down, but it'll be down playing with the Raptors. Like, you don't need Marc Gasol to be the best version we've ever seen of Marc Gasol. You just need him to be a good version of Marc Gasol, a not hurt version of Marc Gasol. His win shares per 48, like everything is fine. Like, the numbers are good here. His value over replacement is up from last season. Like, he's not the player he was in his prime. There's no question about that. But from a need standpoint, there are needs there. He also offers you a guy who can touch the ball late in a basketball game and give you a variety of options. He's a great playmaker.
We're talking about the center position as if it was some great Achilles heel, when actually, relative to the other positions in the league, their center position was the best.
But it was.
If we grade it, it can't be your best position, but also your Achilles heel. If we grade this move in concert with the other moves that have been made at the deadline in the East, the Sixers going and getting Tobias Harris, the Bucks going and getting Mirotic, is Gasol in a vacuum a better player than those guys?
Yeah, I think he's better than Mirotic.
Well, he's not better than Harris. We can probably
Sure, but they paid 2 future first-round picks for Harris.
No question.
Which the Raptors unequivocally could not do for a pending unrestricted free agent.
True, but when they roll the ball out and do a jump ball, no one's wondering how many picks you gave up. It's who has the better team.
Yeah, but they kicked the teeth in of the Sixers 3 times this season, and the only time they lost them was when Kawhi Leonard and JV were out of the lineup. Like, they match up really well against that team. They seem to have a psychological edge against that team. I'm still not worried about the Sixers the way that I am about... To me, you're trying to finish first in the regular season because you want to have home court advantage. And you want to beat the Bucks and the Celtics. Those are the teams. And you want to improve your last 5 minutes of the game.
Best starting 5 in the East.
But now you have a center. When you tell me that you haven't upgraded your center position or you haven't changed some of the deepest part of your team, you have, because Marc Gasol can stay on the floor defensively late in games. We've seen this with Jonas Valanciunas. In playoff series, dude can't stay on the floor. My man can't defend. Marc Gasol can. He brings you a better defensive element than JV does.